Greetings, family. Welcome and welcome back. If this is your first time here, thank you so much for stopping by. If you're already a part of our soul family, thank you for returning. You are loved and appreciated. Family, I have a very important message to deliver to you today from the ancestors. Keep in mind, this is a collective reading and not everything is going to fit for everybody. Therefore, you should take what fits and leave the rest. If this message does resonate with you, there will be a link down below in the description box where you can book a personal reading with me for further clarification and a deeper look into your own personal situation. Today is Wednesday, March 19th, 2025, but whenever you hear this reading is the time that you are supposed to hear it. These readings and these messages are timeless, okay? So we're not going to waste too much time. Let's jump right into the message. Without further ado, family, let's get into it. My beautiful, beautiful people. Today we're going to be taking a look at ancestral wounds, okay? We want to know what ancestral wounds are affecting us and how we can heal them. Our ancestors want us to learn from their mistakes. So we want to turn these wounds or these weaknesses into strengths. So this reading is going to get very specific, okay? It may be triggering as well. If you need to cry, if you need to do some shadow work, whatever it takes, this is healing. This is healing. And I feel like this is something that a lot of us kind of avoid, right? With the Sibyl upright. First of all, I got my handy dandy laptop here. So I want to look at the etymology of the word Sibyl. I feel like that is significant. Okay, in Latin, it's Sibylla. It refers to a woman supposed to possess powers of prophecy. Wow, okay. In Greek and Roman legend, the Sibyls were female prophets who practiced at different holy sites in the ancient world. That's interesting. So now, in the guidebook, the Sibyl is associated with the moon. The core keywords here are secrets, mysterious, hidden, feminine, foresight. The card came out upright. So it says deep reflections upon the next course of action, introspection, deep meditation, secrets are to be revealed. So since we are looking at ancestral wounds, I feel like a lot of your ancestors may not have had the time to do this. As a matter of fact, not only did they not have the time to do this, they were forbidden. So this means that we're taking a look at the ancestors that were held as prisoners of war or enslaved, okay? So back then, during their enslavement, they were forbidden from practicing their spiritual practices. They weren't allowed to meditate. They weren't allowed to go to their temples and consult with their ancestors or deities, okay? Which is why you will see a lot of saints being associated, or better yet, you'll see a lot of orishas or ancient deities being associated with saints, okay? We had to kind of cover it up to make it look like we were practicing their religion or their form of the religion. So, for example, I believe Ogun is Archangel Michael, so on and so forth, okay? So, and this makes sense that the Sibyl is someone who had powers of prophecy. Like, a lot of your ancestors had these really powerful spiritual gifts that they could not use, okay? Or it's like they could use them, but only to an extent, because if they were caught, it came with torture and sometimes even murder. And so this instilled fear into these people, and that fear has been passed down. I feel like a lot of you are not taking the time to reflect Okay, you're not taking the time to reflect on your next steps. You're not taking the time to introspect. You're not taking the time to meditate. And it's like, now, in this time, we have the ability to do that. We have the freedom to do that. And so your ancestors want you to tap into that gift. They want you to tap into your spiritual abilities, okay? Because secrets will be revealed. When you go within, you receive a plethora of information. Okay, when you go within, introspection leads to the unlocking of your Akashic records. Some of you have ancestors who were there when they opened the first university, which I believe was in somewhere in North Africa. Don't quote me. Okay. Some of your ancestors lived somewhere where it was really dry. They were like cactuses. For some of you, this could have been like Arizona, could have been in the desert in Egypt or Kemet. Some of you have ancestors who traveled, okay? So now we're going back now. We're going back before we were enslaved. You have ancestors who traveled the world to share the prophecy with people. This is interesting. Like, they traveled in order to share messages, just like we do now. A lot of us are doing the same thing I'm doing right now on social media from the comfort of my own home is what they did, but they didn't have the technology, so they traveled by foot, by camel, by horse, by boat in order to share knowledge. Wow. Okay, so I'm hearing that some of your ancestors, they were the ones that started revolutions, like, because they were the ones that were able to spread knowledge and wake the people up. Many of you are connected to prominent figures like Noble Drew Ali, Marcus Garvey, El Shabazz, Patrice Lumumba, Fred Hampton, and also Araminta Ross, also known as Harriet Tubman. Okay, so the thing is, a lot of these figures were gifted. Okay, they had sight, like they had foresight, right? And in order for them to have this foresight, there had to be a level of introspection, and that's why there is a shortage of leaders today. There's not enough people doing the introspection and getting the guidance that is needed in order to lead the people. Okay, so that's why this is a wound that needs to be dressed and healed. All right, moving forward, some of you guys are too engulfed in the matrix. Like, some of you guys focus on money and material things too much. Okay, some of you guys are not in tune with your emotions. And this is the Malik of Discs. It says, someone who focuses on money or material things to a fault. Emotional support is not his strong suit. Okay? And so some of you guys are too much in your ego. It's important to have a balance, right? It's important to balance out ego and soul, because your ego is your sense of self-worth, right? But you don't want your worth to just only be based on the material things, the tangible things. The intangible matters as well. Okay, some of you guys have ancestors who dwelled along the coastline of like the South in the United States. So that's like Georgia, the Carolinas, Florida, like around that area. Some of you guys have ancestors that were Maroons as well. Okay, some of you guys have ancestors from the Caribbean, Haiti, Jamaica, Dominican Republic, Cuba, those areas as well, the tropicals. Okay, some of you guys have ancestors who had lots of access to gold. Okay, they had like, oh my gosh, like tons and tons and tons, pounds and pounds of gold. They were very wealthy. They also had animals, like they had animals that they sold, that they raised. For some of you, they had land that was rich in resources, and then it was conquered, so the land became barren. It was like while they were there, the land was rich and fruitful. But once they moved, or they were exiled, or ran out, or murdered, whatever the case was for them, the land was like, it's like the earth was no longer happy. It's like the land became barren. I'm hearing like there was even gold in the United States. Like there was gold in areas where there is no gold anymore. Because it was like something about your ancestors' energy made the earth happy. I hope I'm making sense. Okay, so with the Sultan here in reverse, okay, some of you guys need to work on your partnerships. Some of you guys are like loners, or you don't really know how to get along with people. You argue with people. Maybe you lack communication skills. And because of that, your relationships, whether it's friendships, partnerships, intimate relationships, whatever, they tend to dissolve. They tend to dissolve because it's like something about you. It's like people come to you because they like you, but then you chase them away. Some of you guys self-sabotage as well, okay? And remember the power of unity. So it's very important to be able to build lasting and valuable partnerships, all right? For some of you, if you work on your throat chakra, this will help you with your communication skills, which will help your relationships, okay? So now moving forward with the Eight of Wands here. For some of you, you may look up in the sky and think you're seeing like a shooting star, or you may feel like you're seeing something up there moving, right? And it's not a plane. You're not crazy. What you're seeing is, I want to say, like spirits, or I'm hearing like entities from other dimensions moving around. All right. And so some of you are not looking up enough. Some of you are not looking up enough. Some of you are only looking into your phones. You're looking at TVs. You're looking at tablets. You're looking at your watches, like your Apple watches. Like you're just too engulfed in what's going on down here. They want you to look up more, okay? Because looking up, so this is why our ancestors invented or created telescopes, okay? We were the ones that created that. There's a reason why we studied what was going on up there. We are connected to what's going on up there. It's important to know what is going on up there. And also, so this is literal, but also figuratively looking up, as far as looking forward, looking ahead, okay? Being able to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And I know that keeps coming up. It's because it's important. Some of you guys may need to travel more. Some of you guys may need to do more exploring. Some of you guys may need to learn to be more optimistic, okay? So just because you can't see it right now doesn't mean that it's not possible. It doesn't mean that you don't have the power to manifest it. Some of you guys are spending too much time on your phone as well. They want you to put the electronics down for a while and be present in the moment. And this is really specific. Somebody is running away from love. Like some of you may have like a long distance relationship, or somebody that you are interested in or that is interested in you, and this person is at a distance, and you're kind of like, you're trying to push them away, or you're like avoiding them. This is your soulmate, or one of your soulmates. This is someone that you are supposed to be with, okay? So They don't want you to sabotage that. Remember I said earlier, some of you guys are self-sabotaging. Some of you guys have ancestors that like they rode dragons, or yeah, like somebody had ancestors that could tame wild beasts, okay? That was very random. And the way that you know this is because you may have an interest in so-called fictional animals, right? Or dinosaurs and things of the sort. Some of you guys have ancestors that really wanted to do certain things and they couldn't because they were enslaved or they were held back by some sort of limitation. You are not held back, okay? But many of you tend to procrastinate. Like there's a lot of things that you want to do and it's like your mind is there, but your body does not act on it, okay? This comes, and this is something that has been passed down for the past few hundreds of years, okay? Because you have ancestors who really wanted to accomplish certain things, and it's like in their mind they would accomplish it, they would try their best, but their bodies were enslaved, you know? It's like their bodies were being held back. And so this is something like, it's epigenetics is what I'm hearing. It's epigenetic. It's like it's been passed down, right? But you're not limited. You can accomplish everything that you wish to accomplish. But for some of you, it's like you are limiting yourself. It's like there's one part of your mind that wants to do it and another part of your mind that's like, I can't do it. Like there's a part of you that's like, how can I accomplish that? You know, like you're looking at all of the things that will stop you from doing it. You know, it's like in your mind, you're creating excuses. This is interesting. It's like your higher self battling your lower self. And in return, your body doesn't act on it. This is something that really needs to be healed because it's holding you back. I'm hearing it's holding you back from being great. My lights are like flickering right now. Somebody has an ancestor who is currently present. This is someone who may have worn like a lot of green or like aqua blue. It's like greenish or aqua blue. And this was someone who was like always in their head. She was always thinking. This is someone who wore a headdress as well. Her headdress always matched her outfit. She always wore something on her that like kind of made like a clink, 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 clink noise. Like you could always hear her coming. It was kind of like a bell, but it wasn't a bell. Yeah, this ancestor, she wants you to get out of your head, okay? Like she doesn't want you to be all up in your head like she was. She wants you to act on your ideas. Some of you guys need to write your ideas down as well. That's going to help you. Like if you can imagine it, if you can see it, okay, you can manifest it. If you can see it, you can do it. It's like it's so many things that you want to do, but it becomes too much, so you just end up doing nothing. They want you to write it down, put it on paper, because there's like too much clutter in your head. Okay, moving forward with the Judgment card here upright, many of you have recently had a rude awakening. You're realizing that there are people that depend on you, and so you have to get your stuff together in order to help those people. You're realizing that you are here in order to assist others in a positive way. Okay. And many of you are feeling a sense of urgency. They want you to act on that because that is why you're here. So it's a great thing that you're feeling that. And so once you assist others, okay, once you're able to help the people around you and your community, you will start to feel more fulfilled. You will also begin to receive rewards because when one hand is out to give, the other hand receives. Yeah, a lot of you were definitely connected to Araminta Ross for sure. Okay, because she like put herself on the line to help others. Some of you have ancestors who they were literally like angels, okay? They were earth angels. Many of you are earth angels as well. Daffodils and petunias are significant here. Somebody's wearing yellow or somebody's wearing red. Okay, many of you have ancestors who were like the only people or the only person in a group or in their community that could read other languages. And so they spent a lot of time educating other people, reading to other people. Somebody might be wearing a hoodie right now. They might have the hood on. You might be like, I'm cold, it's chilly. When is winter going to be over? Like somebody's over it. But definitely also white plants, like something about white flowers, white plants. Somebody may have put white flowers on their altar recently, or for some of you, you may need to put white flowers on your altar. Okay, so let's move forward. We have the Ten of Swords in reverse and the Ace of Cups upright. With the Ten of Swords here in reverse, many of you could be Geminis, or you could be Libra or Aquarius. Some of you have been in near-death situations. Some of you have been like shot or shot at. Some of you have been stabbed. Some of you have been in car accidents. Some of you have gotten ill, and you were in the hospital, and you were like, your life was like hanging on by a thread, okay? The reason why you were pulled out of these situations is because you have something to do here that you have not yet accomplished. And aside from that, because of the fact that what you are here to do is so huge, you are protected. Because if something happens to you, it's not just you that is affected. It is hundreds, thousands, millions of people that can be affected if you are not able to do what it is that you were sent here to do. Okay, so many of you are being protected. They want you to utilize the ability to communicate with spirits, all right? I feel like some of you are afraid of doing this. And again, this is because this fear has been instilled and passed down for generations, okay? So let's say your great grandmother, she was caught talking to her ancestors or trying to give her ancestors a meal, right? And she was tortured for it, or she was beat, okay? She's going to tell her children not to do it because she doesn't want the same thing to happen to them. And then they're going to tell their children not to do it because they don't want it to happen to them. And then their children are going to tell their children not to do it. So this is something that has been passed down for generations, okay? This fear. And that is the only reason why you are afraid. Because there was a time when we were one with the spirits, okay? There was a time where we entered over and understood that the spirits were here to guide us. Some of you guys may feel like you are hearing things or seeing things. You're not. What that is your spiritual abilities being sharpened. They're getting stronger, okay? Somebody really saw somebody pass away. Somebody watched somebody pass away. And this actually also increased your spiritual abilities. On top of that, this person is walking with you and guiding you. This may have been someone who wore a lot of blue or wore a lot of red. This may have been someone that was in a gang. For some of you, there was someone who died in like a freak accident, like they fell off some rocks or something like that, or someone may have drowned. This is random, but some of you had ancestors who went fishing with like spears. Like they were so nice with it. Like they could just put the spear in the water and they would catch like 2 or 3 fish on that one spear. Interesting. Okay, this is a specific message, so if it doesn't fit, don't force it to fit, okay? Some of you walked away from a connection, and you will be rekindling that relationship. Some of you are going back to an ex, okay? But it's like, this was someone who, it was like, right person, wrong time, okay? Some of you guys really need to work on your heart chakra. Some of you guys need to work on understanding, okay, and compassion. They want you to learn to see things from different perspectives, okay? This will also enhance your spiritual gifts because you'll be more open to other energies, positive energies. Somebody might have a fountain in their backyard or like a fountain nearby that they like to go to and like just sit by and meditate and just kind of chill. Somebody might like to fall asleep to like white noises, like the water running or like the sound of the beach or something like that. Somebody really lives somewhere where there's lots of greenery, lots and lots of land, okay? Some of you might be thinking about purchasing land or may have recently purchased land as well. Somebody here might wear too much black. Like they want you to wear more colors so you can attract more positive energy to you, okay? More white, more colors. Black is not bad, but they want you to like balance it out. Somebody here might have been taking horseback riding lessons, either recently or when they were a child, or somebody is thinking about taking them now. Somebody may have or will be going on the beach and riding horses on the beach. Somebody might be going on a vacation soon. All right, you might be traveling with your boo soon. Somebody here might be a water sign as well, or an earth sign. Some of you guys are very alluring. Like you're very alluring, you're very attractive, you're very seductive. They want you to know that if something is meant to be for you, you won't have to try too hard, okay? And that was very specific. For some of you, like you're very difficult, okay? They want you to kind of like ease up a little bit. They want you to be more open-minded, be more flexible, like loosen up a bit. Be more easygoing, okay? And like some of you are meant to, how can I say this? Like you like to have your way, but you can be demanding or pushy. So there's a way that you can get your way without being demanding and pushy, okay? Learn to kind of be like persuasive. For some of you, your ancestors visit you as birds. Many of you were Atlanteans, okay? Many of you lived when like the first cities were built, like Sumeria, Mesopotamia. Many of you lived in civilizations that have been lost to history. And you not only lived there, but you helped to build them, okay? I'm hearing like you lived around skyscrapers, and this was thousands of years ago. Wow. Wow. Some of you are definitely earth signs as well. Some of you guys like to do, like, I don't want to say outlandish, but you like to do really unique things, right? Like you're a daredevil, so you like to go up in the, like, bungee jump. You like to get on like helicopters. You like to fly. You might have been in, like, what is it called? Is it a hot air balloon? Something like that. For some of you, you have ancestors who were, like, I'm hearing this is Sparta. Whatever that movie was based on, your ancestors were a part of it, okay? I don't even know. I have no clue. I'm just hearing this is Sparta. And just the opposite. Some of you are bored, right? Some of you need some mental stimulation. They want you, remember I was saying earlier, to kind of loosen up, be flexible. Some of you guys are needing to go out and have some fun, do something exciting, okay? This gives you like a healthy work-life balance, and it also helps to build courage when you try new things. Okay, it shows you that you're capable of stepping outside the box. And that will help get you back to being fearless like your ancestors. Remember, there's a need to release fear. There's a lot of fear that has been passed down through generations. Some of you guys are like afraid of everything. Like you might see like a bumblebee or like something smaller than you. I don't know, a spider, and you're gonna like crash out, okay? Like, remember I said earlier, somebody's ancestors, this might have been earlier this reading or in the reading yesterday, somebody's ancestors were like one with nature. Like I think that was this reading too. Like they rode on dragons, lions, tigers, bears. Like they were not afraid of none of that. Okay, there was a point where we really were one with nature. Somebody has like really light eyes, like hazel greenish eyes. Somebody has a really nice goatee, like a perfectly formed goatee. Somebody's definitely wearing a hoodie or something on their head right now. But with the Five of Swords here upright, it says, in order for you to have your desires, you realize that you must face and overcome any blocks or naysayers. You are surrounded by enemies and you're unsure of whom you can confide in. Some of you, like, you tend to attract people to you that are envious of you, okay? And this is because of your light. The same way that a light in the dark will attract flies, right? This is the case for you. Because of your light, you tend to attract like monitoring spirits, envious spirits, jealous spirits, things of the sort, okay? And so it's very important for you to protect your energy, cleanse your energy, use sage, use Palo Santo, carry black obsidian stone around with you, or even, I think is it black tourmaline as well. Burn white candles and black candles for protection. Definitely keep your frequency high. Like, if this is your energy, if this resonates with you, you should not really be drinking, because there's a reason why they call alcohol spirits, and I'm going to do a post on that. There's a reason why they call it spirits, okay? You tend to attract lower vibrational frequencies when you drink. And many of you, because you have been chosen, you are like a sponge. You soak up the energies around you. So you really need to be around uplifting and positive people. Some of you guys may gossip too much, okay? They want you to be careful of that. Be careful of getting caught up in gossip and slander, because that type of stuff comes back to you. Some of you guys may be seeing fives everywhere as well. You may be seeing a lot of fives. Your ancestors and spirit guides connect with you through numbers, through numerology. So be sure to do research on numbers when you see them, okay? Some of you guys are really like tough. Like some of you are indecisive, but you're like really tough, you know, like a disciplinarian type of thing. And this came out quite a few times in this reading alone. They really want you to kind of like loosen up and be understanding. Some of you guys are this way with your children. Some of you, like, your children are sneaking around doing something. Like, you may have teenagers, they're doing something behind your back, okay? Like, you're pushing them away because of how strict you are. They want you to remember to try to be relatable. Try to be relatable, okay? I'm hearing like, oh, I'm not your friend, I'm your parent. And that's cool, but sometimes you got to pretend to be their friend so that they can feel comfortable enough to confide in you, because I'm pretty sure you'd prefer that than to have them sneaking around behind your back, okay? So some of you really need to keep an eye on your children, okay? Remember, they are the next generation and we need them. We need to build close bonds with them. For some of you, this is an ancestral wound, because remember how I said earlier fear was passed down? So what happened was a lot of our ancestors, unfortunately, were abused, okay? They were beat, they were harassed, they were tortured, right? And so we adapted that. A lot of us began to beat our children the same way. Like it became abuse, okay? And so they want you to be careful with that. That is not the way for us to really get through to our children, honestly. All right. I'm not saying be a pushover, but there's something that is being done here that is pushing your children away from you. Some of you have children that are leaders, like they're going to be leaders as well. This is a part of their destiny. Some of you guys need to get your children a reading. You need to get yourself a reading, and you need to get your children a reading, okay? If you want a personal reading with me, you can book that down below in the description box. But it's like your children, they are like the next leaders. And so for some of you, you're like, oh, you know, my kid is bad and you're disrespectful and you don't listen, or you think you could do whatever you want to do. But in reality, they have strong will and they're strong-minded because they were put here with certain leadership qualities that is going to help them to fulfill their purpose. That's why it's so important for us to get our children readings from a very young age, because then we can see, okay, this is what you're meant to do, and we can kind of nurse them through that instead of trying to project onto them, right? Instead of trying to get them to do what we want them to do, it's important to help water them so that they can grow and do what they were put here to do. Remember, we all came here with our own personal journeys. So it's very important to keep that in mind, parents. We don't want to push our children away, and we don't want to kind of like dumb them down, you know, and take away their spark, take away their shine because of our ego. We're like, oh, well, you know, you think we're Jamaican parents would be like, oh, you think me and you are size, you know, and they'd be like, oh, well, you think you bigger than me, you think you could beat me, you think that's ego, right? It's a certain way that we need to be communicating with our children so that they can relate to us and they can trust us. That's interesting, but no judgment. Remember, these are all wounds that have been passed down, and that's why it's being brought to the surface so we can fix it, so we can heal it together, okay? So some of you may need to have a conversation with your children. Sit them down and have a conversation with them. Some of you may need to do like weekly family meetings. That is going to help, where your children can express themselves and they can feel heard, okay? That's going to make them feel more comfortable, and they're going to start coming to you even when they get in trouble. Instead of you having to hear it from teachers and other adults and their friends or family members, whoever, they're going to come to you like, Mom, Dad, I messed up. Okay? And don't flip. Do not crash out, even if you're pissed off, because you want them to keep coming to you. Remember I said, I think like 2 readings ago, right? It's going to take generations for us to be able to get back to that place where we were, our place up on the throne. And so that means that we need to nurture ourselves and our children so that they can nurture their children and they can guide us. They can guide our bloodlines to our rightful place back on the throne, okay? So we're thriving and we're no longer just surviving. Okay, that's all I have for you, family. Sending you so much love and healing energy. Until next time, peace and oneness.